Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're gonna do another polearm video, and we're gonna be focusing on cuts to thrusts, thrusts to cuts. Okay, and we're gonna be working mostly from our strong side, right? So basically, if we're leading with our right hand, everything's coming in from the right side, or if we're leading left hand, everything's gonna be going from the left side. So in my line of thinking, okay, there's really no distinction between cuts and thrusts. The distinction to me is whether things are coming from the strong side or from the weak side, okay? And the weak side being where my arms are crossed, okay? If something's coming down the middle, vertical, my arms are not crossed, so I consider that a strong side cut, okay? So I really don't make a distinction between cuts or thrusts, because one is basically a setup for the other. What I don't want to do, right, is like threaten somebody with the point and then always give them the point, right, because they're going to be expecting that, or threaten somebody with a cut and always give them the cut, right, because again, they're going to be expecting it. So I want to fight in such a way so that people don't know whether, regardless what stance I'm taking, they don't know if they're getting a thrust or they don't know if they're getting a cut. And in my mind, it kind of helps to to not divide the attacks as cuts or thrusts, but rather strong side or weak side. Okay. So the idea with this is, I got a hole here that's pointed at me. Okay. Basically, any cut can be turned into a thrust. Okay. Likewise, any thrust can be turned into a cut. So I want to practice going from one to the other, and I want it to be fluid and seamless. Now, at the point where I have somebody and they know that any thrust can become a cut and any cut can become a thrust, at that point I might actually threaten the thrust and actually give them a thrust, and then maybe follow up with a cut. But I want to establish in the fight that just because you see a point doesn't mean you're going to get a point, or just because you see me setting up for a cut doesn't mean that you're going to get a cut. Okay, so for pel work, that's like one of the things I want to get like fluid and seamless. Okay, so we're here, we cross swords. Okay, thrust, cut. Okay, or cut, thrust. Okay, so you want it to be fluid and seamless like that. Now, that's with the head. Okay. Now, one of the other things is if you're making cuts, right? So, cut, right? Two cuts. The person's now looking at my head, right? Cut. That's setting up the butt spike. Okay. So, what's happening here is when I make my cut, as I'm pulling back the head, okay, and I believe that they are convinced that I'm going to hit them with the head again, that's the time to give them the butt spike. And it has to be seamless like that, right? So it's got to be cut, thrust, okay? And then back to a cut, okay? So all that right now is from the strong side. I also want to talk about a guard that I like to sit in, okay? So a lot of times I will hold a diagonal guard like this. So the issue with this guard, right, which I still use, is that up here, the shaft is on the right side of my head. Down here, it's on the left side of my hip. So depending on what elevation, right, a thrust or a cut may be coming in at, okay, I have to move a different distance, right? So if somebody's thrusting into my midsection here, well, I just gotta move it about whatever, 1 or 2 inches. If somebody's thrusting into my face, I need to move it about 6 inches, maybe 8 inches, okay? If somebody's thrusting into this low area here, I need to move it back the other way some 10 or 12 inches. So if you hold, or when I hold a diagonal guard like this, depending on what elevation the cut or the thrust is coming in, if I want to block it, I have to, the movement that I have to make to block it, is different, right? A different amount of movement if it's coming up if the thrust or cut's coming up over here, different amount of movement if it's coming in over here, different amount of movement if it's coming in down here. So one of the guards I like to hold is basically a neutral guard, where the pole is like dead center, okay? Because now, regardless at what elevation I'm being attacked at, right, whether it's up here or here, the block is the exact same distance either way, okay? So it just takes out some of the calculation, right? Because if I'm like this, now I have to calculate if the thrust is coming in up here, I gotta move this, whatever that is, about 12 inches. If it's coming in over here, I only need to move it about 3 or 4 inches. You know, if it's coming in over here, I gotta go the other direction, okay? So if I hold this vertical like this, regardless of what elevation the thrust or cut is coming in, the block is the same. So it's just less thinking that I gotta do. So that's a reason why I really like taking that vertical guard, and I've had a good deal of success with it. So try it out, let me know what you guys think. Talk to y'all soon.